Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to the third and final day of our series. I hope you have caught up to this point. If not, I would recommend going to watch the other ones because they do build upon each other. If you're here live, don't worry, you can catch up on the others later if you haven't seen them. But we're gonna jump straight in. So today we're gonna be talking about a couple of different things, mostly around mindset. Let me just pop this in here. And the way we think. And I'm also going to give you 3 action points to take away moving forward. So you've got something to progress with after these 3 days. So, oh, I have to apologize. Well, I've got a bit of like a cough or something. So if I'm like coughing, spluttering, I might mute myself. I might just cough. I might just be drinking my drink. So apologies in advance. I want you to look at this picture and we'll talk about it later, but I want you to remember this picture, okay? This was last October with myself at camp, and we are going to talk about it later. Okay, so yesterday we spoke about whether your previous weight loss attempts had been successful. Someone did say the buzzword that I was looking for, that I lost the weight, but I wasn't successful because I didn't keep it off. So, in my opinion, it was not successful if you did not sustain it. Okay, so if you've lost weight in the past, gained it back, that is not a success. So, this is the diet cycle. This is what most people go through. Okay. So, hands up. I can see some of you. I can't see all of you, but I can see Gail and Natalia. Maybe if I can open this. There we go. I can see Grace and Sam also, and a couple of other people. Louise, I can see as well. There we go. I've got you open. Right. So, who has got to a point where they've got like a holiday or an event or vacation or their wedding or someone's wedding or a hen party or something like that, and you think, oh my God, I better lose some weight for this. Who has gone to that trigger? Who's had that trigger? Me, definitely. Yeah, okay. Or the alternative is you look in the mirror one day and you go, what the fuck have I done? Where have I let myself get to this? Enough is enough now. I'm not dealing with this anymore. Enough is seriously, this starts today. The shit stops and the new me starts today. Who's been there also? Just because you look and you feel repulsive. Yeah, okay. So that's normally a trigger. And what happens when the trigger is we get a response. So the response is like, oh my God, we're such terrible people. Why did I let myself get this way? All my friends look thin. I'm going to look like the fat friend. I can never do it. This always happens. I feel like shit. Da, 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 da. That's your response. And then you're like, no, I'm not pissing around this time. Going hard. I'm going to do it. And you go really extreme. Who's done that? Who's done like keto or like CrossFit or like, whatever kind of like shakes. Yeah. Okay. Most of you as well. And then let me move my thing here. And then you lose weight, but you starve on the way there, right? You're like, yeah, I lost my 10 pounds, but you feel like shite. You're miserable because you haven't been able to have chocolate or pizza or donuts or anything that you really, really love. And you haven't been able to go out with friends. You haven't been able to spend time with your family or your kids because you're on this diet. And this thing doesn't allow you to do other stuff because it's not on the plan. Maybe you've done a meal plan. Same thing, right? And then you restrict too hard and you're miserable and something stressful happens. Maybe maybe just had enough. Maybe you haven't lost any weight. Or maybe you've had like a stressful day at work. Maybe your kids are doing your wedding. Anything like that. Something stressful happens. And then where do you end up? Oops, wrong way. Yeah. And then you end up not making the goal. So you feel like a failure. You're like, oh my God, I've done all this. I feel like a failure. Or you hit it and you still feel like a failure because afterwards you binge it all back. So you binge and you binge massively and you gain all the weight back. So after that event has happened, maybe you did make it to the event, but you weren't successful because then you gained it all back because you didn't do it in a sustainable way. Who resonates with this diet cycle? Yeah, yeah, most of us think. I've also been there. Shove a cake. Oh, you still look like shit even though you lost weight. Yeah, I should see any full body photos of me. Yeah, that's the one as well. Bikini. Yeah, yep. We do not like them, do we? Yeah, and sometimes that's right, actually, Louise. Sometimes it's after the holiday. So the trigger is after the holiday when you look at your pictures and go, oh my God, is that me? I didn't recognize myself. Um, Side note here, people don't like taking progress photos, their face progress photos. A lot of the time it's because they have to literally look at what they've done to their body straight up. And no one likes to admit it. No one likes to like say, this is my fault. I'm going to take responsibility for it. They're just like, if I don't see it, it didn't happen. Just like weigh in. If I don't see the weight, it doesn't matter what it could be like that. That's fine. And so when we get to the point where we have that realization, this trigger happens. So the more that we can look at our bodies in the mirror, the more that we can get used to how we're looking, how we're feeling, our weight, and all those things, we are going to be less triggered. Okay. I never even make it to losing weight. There we go. Yeah, some people don't also. Okay, so just this here. Oops, one sec, guys. Okay. Okay, so does weight matter in that case? Well, this is Holly. Some people say, I'll be happy when I lose about 20 pounds. Who has said that? I'll be happy when I lose X pounds or when I can fit into X or, 20 pounds is normally the thing. Or maybe like a stone in the UK. So that's 14 pounds in the States. Okay, so what are you willing to sacrifice to get there? Because sacrifice sounds like a scary word, but realistically, we have to sacrifice or we have to change something in our life if we want our life to change. Sam still says, Sam, we're gonna have words. Holly's in here. Holly will make a note of that and tell you off later. She'll coach you through it. Yeah, so what are you willing to sacrifice? Because if nothing changes, nothing changes. That's the saying, right? I don't know if you've heard that. If nothing changes, nothing changes. So if you do not change anything in life, your life is going to stay exactly where it is. If that means you're gaining weight and you don't change anything, you're going to continue to gain weight. If that means your health is going downhill and you don't change anything, that means your health is going to continue to go downhill. So something needs to change. I've been on multiple calls with people because I make sure that basically every person that joins the coaching program, I get on a one-to-one call with them to make sure they're a good fit. I've been on multiple calls where they've gone, I really want to lose X pounds or whatever. Maybe they've got a really good reason. Maybe they, have got a health problem or whatever. And then they say, but I don't want to change anything. Well, I literally cannot help you then because I have not got a magic wand and you need to change something in order for you to get results. So, what are you willing to sacrifice to get there? And now, some people will be okay with sacrificing nights out, some people, weekly takeaways, some people, family time, flexibility, health, muscle mass, or happiness. I think it's lack of knowledge. People are sucked into these fad diets. Louise. Well, I'm going to come on to that later. Alcohol, yes, yeah, exactly, Nat. So Nat has not given up. She hasn't been like teetotal. She's still having like the odd glass here, but like if she wants a glass of wine, she will have one. Not because it's a Friday or because it's a Saturday or because she had a stressful day, just because she wants one. And I think a lot of the time people are like, oh, if I'm on a health kick or weight loss kick, I can't have alcohol because it's bad. And that comes back to yesterday's talk on, the language that we use. But what are you willing to sacrifice to get there? And the more extreme that your diet, your fad, like Louise just said, the more that you go into sacrifice. The more that you sacrifice, the shorter term that you're going to be able to sacrifice for. For example, if I said to Nat, you could not drink another drop of alcohol until you've lost 20 pounds, she'd probably do 2 days and go, get a bottle and just start chugging it, or maybe get a straw. Whereas most people, if you say to them, you can have a glass if you want to, just make sure you log it or you know why you're doing it, or they'd be like, I'll probably do that. Or if I said, yeah, you can have 3 to 5 drinks every 2 weeks or something, every month, wherever it's going to be, you'd probably be like, yeah, I could probably do that. And chances are you probably won't even hit 3. But being allowed to have those things is actually what makes you successful. So are you willing to sacrifice nights out? I think that's a fairly easy sacrifice. If it's like a regular thing, if it's because you haven't seen your best friend for months, then that's different. Oh, mic dropped a little. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, okay. Sorry, Sam, maybe it's your iPods or something. Um, Weekly takeaways, lots of people can reduce those or let me just let time in here, or sacrifice those as well. Because not only do nights out and weekly takeaways cost your health, they cost money as well, right? And recognize the words and the language I'm using. I'm using the words cost, okay? Family time. Is that a cost or is family time an investment? So it's an investment into your family, right? If you've got kids, maybe sometimes it feels like a cost. It's like looking after my kid is costing my time, but really it's an investment into your family. Flexibility is, are you willing to sacrifice flexibility? So now we're looking towards things like meal plans, shakes, keto or carb cutting or whatever you want to say, low calories, these kinds of things, or like obsessive exercising. You now can't have the flexibility because you can't eat wherever you want. You have to eat these things. You start to sacrifice health because now you're not getting the nutrients, you're not getting all the benefits from real food, you're not having the health of relationships. So I always use this study, but basically the outcome was social relationships or having social relationships is as good for you as diet or exercise, like having one or the other. Having bad social relationships is the equivalent of smoking 20 cigarettes a day. So health-wise, if you are now sacrificing your flexibility, you're not only just miserable because you can't go out and have food that you love, but you're actually damaging your health through the social or lack of social relationships. And muscle mass, of course, we've spoken about, muscle mass being the pinnacle of health or the what's the word? The measurement, I guess, of health and the decrease of comorbidities is the more muscle you've got, the less likely you are to have like lots of different cancers, CV diseases, and so on and so forth. But if you are eating super low, if you're not eating protein, if you're not eating enough of the right vegetables, and if you're not resistance training, if you're just doing intensive cardio, you are losing muscle mass, thus increasing risk of all these diseases, okay, and death, basically. And then obviously happiness. No one's happy when they can't have what they want, right? No one's happy when I say to you, you are not allowed to drink alcohol. You are not allowed to have chocolate. You have to eat wherever I give you. You can only drink this magical elixir full of snake oil that I'm going to charge you for, and you will lose weight. Yeah, because you're not eating anything, right? You're losing muscle, water, and probably a bit of fat. But you're going to be miserable then. So the more extreme you get, know that you're going to be sacrificing more of these. Now, for me, I'm happy sacrificing nights out, weekly takeaways to an extent. Family time, I don't really see my family much, obviously, because I travel, but I do make sure that I talk to them as much as possible. I have to be flexible. My last coach, she was she's currently the UK bikini pro. She's like top of the league, basically. Now she's a pro in the pro leagues. She mostly puts people on meal plans. I was not having it. Oh, let me just mute. Can we just make sure we mute it, please? Let me just check who is it here. Okay, cool, thanks. Yeah, so she puts people on meal plans and I was not having it. So I basically said, oh, I'm not doing this. That is not what I'm willing to sacrifice, the flexibility. Not to mention it's very difficult when you're traveling. But for other people, they might be like, you know what, okay, just tell me what to eat and I'm going to eat it. They don't care about like the family meals or the the family time or the nights out or wherever. They don't really care about the flexibility. They just want results. Okay. So again, after that meal plan, what do you do then? You don't know because you haven't learned anything. So there's pros and cons. And like Rachel said, short-term versus long-term happiness. Exactly. So would you be happy if you lost 20 pounds, but you couldn't have any of those things that are on that list? I certainly wouldn't be. If someone says you can't have pizza, I'm not happy about it. I'll kick up a fuss. Okay, so some of you will say, oh yeah, because muscle weighs more than fat. Who's heard this? Let me open up the thing. I'd fail, yeah. Why can't I open this? There we go. Right, who's heard this? Phrase, not phase, phrase. Yeah, muscle weighs more than fat. Yep. Okay. So Pop quiz. If you have 5 pounds of muscle, 5 pounds of fat on a scale, which one would weigh more? There's no stupid answers apart from the wrong one. Thank you guys. Oh my God, you guys are so smart. Yes, exactly. They are exactly the same. Okay. 5 pounds is 5 pounds. All right. It's like trying to make half a whole. It's either a whole or it's not, right? 5 pounds is 5 pounds. So what you can see here is the density. So let's use a different example. If I was to have a pillowcase and the pillowcase was full of two kilograms of feathers, maybe that could be bag actually, there would be a lot. There would be a massive, massive bag, right? Because feathers don't weigh much. So it'd be 2 kilograms, it'd be huge. But if I give you a bowling ball and it was the same weight, obviously it'd be this big, or like iron, whatever you want to call it. It'd be this big, but it still weighs the same. But the feathers take up more space. And so the same is true for fat. Fat takes up more space than muscle. Okay, but they weigh exactly the same. Saw someone the other day, I pointed this out. She got very annoyed at me. But facts are facts, okay? Maths is maths. Okay, so now some people are under the impression, which I wish this was true, guys. I honestly like, I wish this was true. That they say, oh yeah, but I'm not, I'm weighing the same because I'm building muscle. I'm still losing fat. No. Okay. It's very unlikely that you're going to gain enough muscle to offset the fat loss. So, quiz, guys, some of you might know the answers to this because Cam put it up the other day, but women can build about 20 pounds average, 15 to 25 pounds of muscle in how long? Anybody know or can guess? Like chuck it in the comments for me in the chat. A life, 6 months, 1 year, 12 weeks. Bloody hell, Gail. You're wishing. Grace is correct. In a whole lifetime, you could gain 25 pounds of muscle. This is if you have no hormonal issues, if your gut health is perfect, if you train hard and at the gym, if you've got a good program, not a circuit program, not what can I do? What's free? Oh, I'm going to do that. If you don't have any holidays or vacations, if you don't have any time off sick, if your nutrition is bang on, if all of these things line up, you might gain 25 pounds of muscle. Yes, we can only hope, can't we? It is very sad, Grace. And this is the worrying or the sad thing about it is women say, "Oh, I don't want to get too muscly." It's like, oh, believe me, I've tried. It's not very easy. Grace is on it. I think she's got 20 pounds in her guns. She's what we call a genetic freak. Very lovingly, we call genetic freaks like that. Let's say so if you were to lose 20 pounds of fat, let's say pure fat, right? And let's say you could gain 1 pound of muscle a year, right? I think that's fair. 20 pounds across a lifetime, maybe half a pound, whatever. But that would still mean you're 19 pounds down, right? So you'd still lose muscle, even if you gained the maximal amount. Sorry, you could still gain fat, even if you gain the maximal amount of muscle, just roughly half a pound, if that a year. Let's see this in practice. This is our client, Kat, who has lost 85 pounds. She's gained tons of strength. She is so strong now. She's incredible. But she wasn't working out before. She went from home workouts. Now she's like a gym rock star. I don't say gym bunny because that's like a cardio, but no, but she loves it. She's lost 85 pounds. She's probably gained 4 pounds of muscle, if that, right? Because she's with us for she's been with us for nearly 3 or 4 years now, maybe 4 actually. But she's obviously had the training, she had the one-to-one coaching, she's had the program, she's had the nutrition, she's had the really like boring stuff like sleep, water, stress. We've done all this with her, mindset as well. And this is where she's at the minute. Actually, this is about a month ago, actually. So she's probably smaller now and probably like that. She is wonderful. She's very, very good. And then we've got Jen, who I think in here, this is like 9 months difference, perhaps. It's 27 pounds, but you can see she's stronger. She's got like more toned arms. She's smaller in the belly, more toned legs. So even though she's more muscly and she's gained muscle, she is still 27 pounds lighter. Okay. Last example. Let me just open this up so we can see. Where is she? Where's our girl? There she is. Here is Grace, looking absolutely fantastic. Let's see you, Grace. Smile, wave to the people on the replay. And so this is Grace, who, as you can see, when she started, was pretty small anyway. As I mentioned yesterday, Grace was on a weight loss journey before she started with us. And we are working on building muscle. And even though, look at her again, she's fucking hench, let's be honest. Like, she is ripped. Even though she's ripped, she's still lost 11 pounds in this time. I can't remember how long it was, Grace. But she still lost 11 pounds, even though she's gained like what looks like a shit ton of muscle. Okay. So even if you're like, I'm just trying to gain muscle, you're probably still going to lose weight as well. It's very, very unlikely that, I mean, it happens. It's very rare that it happens, right? 9 months. There we go. There you go, Grace. Happy you're in the thing? And the best thing is she's still being able to eat her favorite food in the world, which is pistachio. So there we go. But at times Grace was eating like 2,500 calories a day. So it is not necessarily, as you guys know now, about eating less and less and less. All right, there you go, Grace. You've had your 5 minutes of fame. Okay, so Amazing Grace, just like the song. Okay, so what is holistic health? For us, this can be defined in different ways, but for us, this is a health-based approach. When we were bringing on Shelby as a coach, like this is one of the things we were really looking for in a coach. This is the baseline, and this is our kind of mission, I guess, our ethics all sit here. We want a health-first approach. If someone comes to us and said, I just want to lose weight, I don't care how I do it, they do not get on the program. We only take on clients who are serious about their health and not willing to sacrifice their health. Okay, so this is what we use with all of our clients, and our clients are in here. You can ask them, you can message them. I'm sure I'm just giving people permission to message you. But most of them are probably happy for you to ask them. But yes, this is a health-first approach. So if a health-first approach allows us to lose weight and feel better, not just physically, but mentally, it allows us to build muscle, decrease risk of diseases, and it's flexible so we can still eat the foods that we love. Why doesn't everyone do it? There's 4 reasons. The first reason is people are impatient. I'm looking at you guys. I can see you, Natalia. I saw you. No, I'm not me. People are impatient, okay? And they are crazy, yeah. And this is why people don't do it. They're too impatient. They just want results yesterday. Second thing, attack coming in. Personal trainers and most coaches do not understand health. If you've ever been with a personal trainer who's given you a meal plan, let me see if I can open this actually. I've got some cameras on. Have any of you guys been with a personal trainer that had a meal plan? No. Wow. Oh, Grace has. There we go. Did you lose a lot of weight quite quickly through it, Grace?
No, I lost nothing.
Oh, interesting.
No.
Okay. So usually what happens is a meal plan will have things like don't eat carbs after like 12 o'clock or something, or don't eat carbs at all. There's lots of protein on there, some fats, lots of cardio, and no carbs, right? This is the normal thing. And this is because it looks fantastic when coaches can say, my client Gail lost 12 pounds in 2 weeks. Like, yeah, because she fucking did not eat anything. And just a side note here, talking about carbs. So for every 1 molecule of carbohydrate, you hold 3 waters. Okay. So for every one, bop, bop, bop. So there's 4 times as heavy. Basically, one molecule is 4 times as heavy because it's got water attached to it, right? So this is the hydrate part of carbohydrate, right? So yes, you will lose weight very quickly. And this is why a lot of personal trainers don't push for health, but do push for meal plans, lots of cardio. Has anyone ever weighed before they do cardio and then weighed after, straight after? Anyone? Just me? You lose weight, right? Because you lose muscle. You literally sweat it out. So you're gonna be lighter. Let me just read some of these comments. This is why I'm here. Almost forgot the last couple of weeks. Yeah, good. Pick it back up. Also because people are just confused now what to do and what not to do because everyone's got different opinions and false research. Yeah. And not only false research, but pushed, favored research, favored documentaries, and so on, and that kind of stuff. And who funds these researchers? Researchers? Yeah, research papers as well. Louise does not eat after 6. I don't go home until 6:15. Times in the past I've not eaten. Or don't eat after 6. Yeah. Bad food habits. Exactly. Yeah. You can definitely eat after 6. You can eat at 10 if you really want to. I wouldn't recommend it, but that's because of the sleep, disturbed sleep, not because you're going to wake up fat. Like you're not going to wake up fat. And also most health coaches, or not most health, most coaches or influencers, those guys, they typically don't have any knowledge on health, medical conditions, gut health, all of those kinds of things. Typically don't have that, and they just want results. So they don't understand. And then most people think health can't be seen. So they're like, what's the point? What's the point of to be healthy if you can't, if everyone got a 6-pack, what's the point of being healthy? Like you can't see it. So what's the point, right? It's like I've got loads of money, but I haven't got a Mustang or a Maserati or something. So what's the point in having the money, right? It's not the same. I must add that I told them I wanted to build muscle. Oh, okay. Well, that's fair enough then, Grace. You should be eating more, shouldn't you? Shouldn't you, love? And then the fourth part is people like to do things extreme. I'm going to go ahead here and say this is why, here it comes. This is why the vegan movement is so popular, because a lot of people just want extreme. They're like, I'm going to cut out meat or carbs, like keto. I'm going to cut out carbs. Anything that's really hard. I'm going to do CrossFit. I'm going to run, 8 million times a day, whatever it's going to be. Like, because people want extreme, people want hard, right? And unfortunately, a lot of the time, extreme and health do not work together. In fact, I'm not sure I know where they do. Okay. Okay, so extreme. What is that? Go hard, go home. Anyone hear these phrases? Go hard, go home, or go home. Eat as little as possible. Cut your carbs. Sweat is fat crying. No pain, no gain. We heard these kinds of phrases being tossed around. Yeah. If you're not aching, you're not going hard enough, bro. All that kind of jazz. Or like if you're not sweating and leaving a sweat angel on the floor, you're such a pussy. Like, we've all heard these kinds of things before. And these are the kind of things that people buy into because they're hard. Literally the worst thing you could be doing. Okay. So what does that lead to? Going hard, going home, cutting carbs, cutting bloody meat or whatever. Doing these things, what does that lead to? Decreased gut health. Keto. Bad mental health. I hate. Yeah, misery. Grace, all right. What's that say? If it ain't raining, it ain't training. Not quite the same as go hard or go home. That's funny, so I've never heard that one. Yeah, guilt, lack of sustainability, exactly. Stress, yep, misery, yep. So bad mental health, decreased nutrients, increased risk of injury. No one said that one. Short-term commitment or lack of sustainability, increased cortisol, which we already know is bloody terrible for trying to lose weight and build muscle. Offset leptin and ghrelin, which is your hunger and full hormones. No recovery time, looking ill. These are in the comments, by the way, the chat, guys. I know if you're watching replay, you can't see this, so I'm going to read it out. Bad relationship with food and exercise, menstrual cycle problems, which can be amenorrhea. Cam told me how to pronounce it earlier, and I'm looking at him for reassurance, and he's not listening to me. But basically, when you lose your period, and decreased immunity, so your immune system decreases, basically. You get ill all the time. So not only do you look ill, Sue, you get ill all the time as well. Alrighty, so This means that you end up, can anyone guess where you end up? His hint is not the Orlando picture that I put up earlier. You don't end up in Florida, unfortunately. In a mess. Correct. Back in the biscuit tin, says Grace. Yeah. Burnt out. Yeah. I think, falling off regime. I think most of us have been here as well. Back at the start, or worse. Yep. We end up right here. Do you remember this from earlier? Exactly where we basically started. So we might not have made the goal, and now we feel like a failure. Or we did make the goal, and now we binge massively and gain all that weight back, right? Nothing works for me. I'm rubbish. And the worst thing is, every time you do this cycle, right, you lose weight. I think I've spoken about this in one of our conversations so far. So you lose weight, which is fat and muscle. And then there's something called fat offshoot. So when you gain the weight back, you do not gain the muscle back. So if you lose 10 pounds, you gain 10 pounds back very quickly. You might have lost 4 pounds of muscle and 6 pounds of fat, but now you've gained 10 pounds of fat back. As we know, damage to health, decrease in BMR, making you feel and look like rubbish, and putting you back, making it harder and harder to lose weight and easier to gain weight. You can't get rid of fat cells, and every time you rebound or binge everything back, you gain more fat cells. You cannot get rid of them without liposuction. They can only shrink, but they fill up more and more and more. They create more, and then it makes it harder to lose in future. All right, so the goal. Let me just move so people can't see this picture here as well. The goal is to have the body we want long term so we don't feel the need to extreme diet in the first place, right? We don't want to be at a point where like, oh my God, I got a holiday coming up. I feel like shit. Oh my God, I look like a piece of shit or whatever. Like, we don't want to get to that point where we need to be extreme, right? We want to have balanced hormones and good gut health so that you can easily lose weight and keep it off. Same for building muscle. Grace and Claire, don't worry, I've included you in here. And for anyone else that wants to build muscle, you need to have a good gut health. And so you want this lifestyle where you can easily lose weight if you feel like, you sit at 140 pounds and then for holiday you just want to tighten up a little bit. You can drop the 5 pounds easy or wherever it's going to be, right? And you want to embed this flexibly so you've got a healthy life and still get to enjoy things that you love. Does this sound like the goal, generally, peeps? And to look, I didn't put look fucking fantastic, but that's also, yeah. Okay, this is holistic health. This is exactly what I've been banging on about this whole time, right? So this is what holistic health is. Okay, so your 3 pointers to go by moving forward. So I'm not going to just be like, okay, bye. Thanks for the last 3 days. Love you. Leave you. Bye. Grace says, yes, and it 100% works. I can vouch for it. We've seen, Grace. We've seen your gains. So guys, obviously this is a 3-part series. So I want to make sure you have something to go away with. The first thing is going to be eat more plants. You already know this because you hopefully watched the workshop last Monday. The second thing is include 1 stress management technique into each day. I want you guys to have a pen and paper here, be writing these notes down. Unless you're a client, in which case we work on this anyway. So include 1 stress management technique each day. This could be a 15 to 30-minute walk outdoors, ideally. It could be that you have like one day, maybe you go and get your nails done or go get your hair done or something. Maybe it's a moment of breath work or like a bit of breathing time. Maybe do some mindfulness and meditation. Maybe you just lock yourself in the bathroom for 5 minutes, even if the kids are screaming, but this is your time, right? As long as they're safe, obviously. And drink 80 to 100 ounces or 2 to 2.5 liters of water a day. These are not going to get you every single result that you want, but they are easy. They will give you a damn head start on this. And oops, let me just let Sam back in here. And you're not going to fall off. They're not extreme. There's no damage here. You're not going to like sacrifice anything. They're not going to cost you anything. Actually, none of food, but you're going to buy food anyway. So buy more plants. And of course, there's other things. like protein. There's other things like your exercise, your sleep, and all these kinds of things. But it doesn't matter what exercise you do, it's not going to work unless all these other things are in check first, okay? Don't forget, that's the 5%. So these are the 3 things I want you guys to be working on for however long, but just start, okay? Okay, so this is how to achieve it. Let me just move this. Where can I move this? Somewhere. Oops. Okay, it's down there. Okay, so first of all, guys, I want you to lead with curiosity, okay? How to achieve this long term. Lead with curiosity and act like the dumbest person in the room. Because if you knew what to do, I just need to do it, you wouldn't be here right now. You wouldn't be watching this, right? Because you'd already know. Number 2, have a community of people around you who are where you're at, or sorry, who have been where you're at, or are where you're at, or are where you want to be. Do not take advice from anyone you would not trade places with. If you've got friends who are overweight, drinking alcohol all the time, and they're like, oh my God, nah, it's so boring now, you don't drink. If you wouldn't trade places with them, they can leave their opinions at the door, right? Because you shouldn't be bothered by them. Only take advice from people you would trade places with. If you had, apologies for the dog, again, not mine. But if you were going to invest money, who would you speak to? Would you speak to someone who is a millionaire who has invested money, or someone who lost all their money? Like, you wouldn't trade places. Well, I wouldn't trade places with one of those people. And so that is the person that I would be taking advice from. Dumb question, do grains count as plants? Yes. If they grow, it works. I was trying to be funny then, think of a word, but it snows, wherever. Yeah, quinoa counts. And so does coffee, actually, Sue. Coffee counts as well. And tea. And stop saying one day, oh, I'll think about it, because those people hardly ever get success. I've spoken to, it really upsets me, actually, this. So when people come to me, they're like, I want to lose weight, I want to do this, I want to do this. You know, I've got really bad health problems or wherever it's going to be. They're crying to me. And they're like, I just need to think about it. Or one day, one day, when life calms down, I'll do it one day. And then a year later, 2 years later, I still see my Facebook wall, they're still saying, I'm so miserable, I'm so fat, I'm starting this new craze, I'm whatever, like I feel disgusting. Honestly, I'm starting today, and back to that cycle because they've tried all this stuff over and over and over. Holly says, one day or day one. Exactly. I'll start on Monday. Yeah. Classic, Claire. And then just take fucking action. Stop wasting your time, guys. Just do it. Like Nike. So this picture, yes, Grace, 100%. This picture, Tomorrow Never Comes, says Tammy. Also a song, the second song we've had today, I think, was last October. So last October, Cam and I went to a conference in Florida, and it was our first conference. It's a nutrition conference, and it was led by this guy, Jason Phillips, who owned a 7-figure, so few million pound health coach business. So he was basically helping people lose weight. It's what we do. But his business was at like millions of dollars, I guess, of income. Then he decided, you know what? I want to help more people make an impact. So he'd become a coach's coach. So he is like a business coach now. Anyway, went there, and the people on stage, maybe you guys have heard of some of these people like Aaron Aragon, Bill Campbell, and Lane Norton. These are like and Rachel Shear was there, and some of the guys are. He's not so famous. But like Lane Norton, Alan Aragon, and Bill Campbell are the top fat loss experts, researchers, they're all doctors, PhDs, in the world. They are the top of the top of the top. We very well may have been the dumbest people in the room, okay? And we went in with that attitude. We went in like, we're going to learn some stuff. We're going to have our minds blown. We're going to be made to feel really stupid because we don't understand like half of these things. But we're going to go in, we're going to ask questions. Not only that, but this guy, Jason, who is a mentor for business coaches, this is the first time we met him. He his clients, I guess, like other online coaches, were also there as well. So they're nutrition coaches, they're online coaches, they're bikini pro coaches, wherever it's going to be, bodybuilding coaches. And some of those people have had their business for years and years and years. They are probably earning hundreds of thousands or millions a year, maybe hundreds of thousands a month, right? This is how good they are. They may have a massive following. They may also be doctors. They may also have all these like qualifications that Cam and I do not have. And so we probably, well, I don't know if we probably would, but we could have been one of the most rubbish people in that room, right? And we had every single right to feel intimidated. Remember seeing this girl on stage and I was like, oh my God, like if we ever can make an impact on people's lives like this person, my life will be like complete. And I had that imposter syndrome of, oh my God, I'm never going to get there. I'm not going to be good enough. What if I fail? What am I doing wrong? Where can I change? And I went in with, I quickly flipped that and I decided, you know what? How am I going to know? How am I going to leave this weekend, basically, having the answers to those questions? So can anyone guess what I did? What me and Cam did? You've changed my life. Oh, Grace, you're so kind. Thank you. No one can guess. Dumbest people in the room wanted to be like these people, this high level people who have been where we want to be, are where we are. Sam's got it. I walked up and I spoke to them exactly. Actually, I called her to my table. But yes, exactly. I hollered her over very coyly and spoke to her. What have you been doing? What has worked? What have you tried? What has not worked? How are you helping people better? Like I asked her, I basically grilled her for about 20 minutes. She didn't have to answer me. She didn't have to stand there and spend time answering my questions. She didn't know me. And then we spent an average annual salary to join this person's mentorship. So this guy now is our mentor. And for me, you might say, how much did it cost me? It didn't cost me anything. I invested this money. I invest time. In fact, before this call, I was on my cohort call with one of my mentors. Like our clients have cohort calls as well. But I was on a cohort call with my mentor, asking him, what can I do here? How can I try this? What about that? And I ask, I invest a lot of time into the education that they give us. I invest a lot of time in going to the events. Like we're going again to the event in Florida next month, the end of this month, actually. And so for me, it is a lot of money and it is a lot of time, but that is what I'm willing to invest in order to get where I want to be, in order to change people's lives and make a difference in this world. Okay. So when people ask, what exactly sacrifices, what are you willing to sacrifice? Think about that. And I can tell you guys, I have got a lot of free or cheap courses in my inbox that I paid 20 quid for, but yeah, that's fine. I'll do that. I'll just do that later. I'm fucking open distance. It's still sitting there in red, flagged, like, do this from last financial year when I was like, okay, there's some money, like tax write-off. But no, now I'm serious about this goal. So I will invest whatever it takes. I have spoken to clients who have said, I do not know where I'm going to get the money for to join your coaching, for example. I will find it. I have to make this work. It is that important to them. And for me, this changing people's lives and investing in this person so I can change more people's lives is an absolute investment that I'm willing to do 20 times over. Holly said that over and over again. Exactly. So I want you guys to act like we did on that day. Ask questions. Be surrounded by people who actually want to support you to change. Be me and ask that person, like, can you just check this? Can you just check this? Or can you just like help me out here? What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? Be that dumb person and be absolutely fucking fine with it, okay? I want you guys to really feel empowered to ask questions and change your life, okay? Sam says you already made a difference, but you go and get it and get more. Yeah. My life is changed we lost Roger's income when I signed up. There we go. Susan said, that's why I'm here. Fantastic. Gail said, that's exactly what I said. I redid my finances to make this work. Exactly. Now, this is not a pitch to come and join us. What I'm saying is, when our clients come to us and when we go to these events, we are surrounded by other people who are where we want to be or are where we're at maybe, and we grow together. We've got different skills, different weaknesses, and we collaborate and we cheer each other on. These people in this room are 100 plus of my competitors. Why the hell would they want to help me? Okay. But they do. People want to help people. So ask people. And in our group, I'm very proud of our community. I'm proud of our girls who ask each other questions. They support each other. They are like the best people in the whole world. Okay. And I'm super, super proud of them. This is just like a love letter to some of you. I can see on my screen. But yeah, that's what I want for you guys. I want you to not be ashamed to ask questions and to put yourself first as well. Right. Let's get over my little bit of a tear here. I'm not a client, but both you and Cam are just spot on. I invest, I just need sort of finances. Louise, you're here. You're investing time. And that is more than a lot of other people, right? So I appreciate you being here. And you're part of our community. You're in our free group. We love you. So what are your excuses now? Time. You've got to eat. So make better choices. People are like, oh, I haven't got time to like track my food. Well, you got to eat anyway. So just cook nicer food. No, not nicer, better, healthier food, right? You don't need time for that. Age. Well, keep building muscle and you're going to feel 10 times better. Doesn't matter how old you are. Hormones. I've given you all the information you need. No excuse to blame your hormones now, okay? Cost. Like we just said, spending time, money, or energy on your health and well-being is not a cost. In fact, not taking action is costing you years of your life. And also happiness, okay? Years of happiness as well. But even if you're still like, I just don't have the money, I've given you the information here. So you can still do it, right? There's no excuses. Energy. I've got the energy. Start with nutrition. What else have I put on here? God, I've come up with a ton of excuses, all from what I've heard. It's not a good time. That's another one, isn't it? Life will never calm down for you enough to be wholly concentrated on yourself with no stress, no business. Anyone had that time where you're like, my life is like perfect. You know, it'd be good now. Start a weight loss journey. No, because as soon as you think that, maybe even the thought comes into your brain, the cat needs an operation, or the boiler breaks, or there's something to do with the car, or your kid needs to go on a school trip, or work is manic. There's always something, right? So never think that there's a good time. Time to make yourself a priority. That's nice, Claire. I like it. My friends, spouse, family doesn't support me. This is touchy, but I'm going to say it anyway. Get new ones. And no, they don't need to support you, even if you don't want to find someone else. You're doing it for you, not for them. I feel very sorry for people, or very sad, not sorry for them, funny or anything, but I feel very sad for people who don't have that community around them, which is why I'm very protective over our community. But also, did Cam and I discuss me spending the money for that guy? Maybe not. Maybe I'd have paid him for it later. Beg for forgiveness and ask for permission rather than ask for permission. So you're doing it for you, okay? If your partner is saying, no, Natalia, you can't spend that money. No, Gail, you can't spend that time. No, Grace, you're not allowed to do X, Y, and Z. You could try and get them bored, yeah. But if they don't want you to succeed and they don't want you to give you that support, do you know what's going to happen? You're going to carry on feeling miserable. Your health is going to decline. There's going to be more stress in the relationship. There's going to be more resentment. You're going to end up miserable and you're going to end up continuing arguing. And you're probably going to end up breaking up, right? So there we go. Take that how you want, guys. I'm very passionate about this. There you go. So last question. Now, is it that you've got more to this, or is it that you just don't want results? That's right there. Any more excuses, anyone? Want me to back? I'm here for all the objections. I can do it. Get rid of them, sir. Yes, Grace. Luckily, Grace's husband is so on board. He's actually also a client, and they train together. Yeah. Well, they actually don't train together. They support each other, but they train separately. Nope, there's no excuses. Exactly, because you've got all the information now. If someone else is like, oh, there's another excuse, honestly, you have to start, like if anyone's watching the replay, you have to ask yourself, do you just not want the results? And that is perfectly fine. If you don't want to lose weight, no one's making you, right? Don't want a goal because other people want it. Want it because you want it. Okay. All right. So fired up, guys, as you can probably tell. I've been emotional. I've been like close to tears with love. I've been like empowerment queen. And now we're back here. Last thing on this, promise. The 30 spots that are available are still there, obviously, because we haven't gone through them yet. But if you're a client, no, you do not need to apply. If you are not a client, definitely apply. Not everyone who applies will get through. We're filtering them, so make sure you actually want to change. Make sure you give a shit and put some effort into this application, because we're not just taking everybody on anymore. We've got a lot of energy, a lot of passion, as you can probably tell, and I want to give as much as possible to people who want to change, right? So that is that. Any questions? Oh no, there's the application. I'll leave that on there. And any questions? So, any tips on how to get over those times where results aren't happening? Yes. Okay. So, first of all, look at what results are. Sam says stay consistent. I agree with that one as well. So, what is a result? So, the first thing I like to do is define success. So, for some people, you might be like, well, success for me is losing 30 pounds, wherever it's going to be around, fit into my dress, wherever. But if the problem or like the key issue is that you've got like a chronic health issue, or you've got hormonal issues, or you're going through perimenopause, or like whatever else, like you're stressed, like if you're at burnout, if your cortisol is consistently high, oh, Grace, none of that in public, please. This has been recorded, so you can tell Kevin, no smooching on on the camera, please. She's embarrassed. No worries, Claire. Yeah, so if those are your kind of problems, you need to think about success then. In this case, is healing one of these, feeling better. So like energy, increasing energy might be the success in there. So are we improving energy? Are we sleeping better? Are we feeling less irritable? Are we feeling less moody? And even if, because all those things will take time, right? You can't just be like, I ate a vegetable, now I feel great. Like that's not going to happen. So instead, looking at ticking boxes using your three things, wherever they are. I just give you three. Doing those. I can see Gail's dog now has distracted me. Doing those three things, ticking those off every day is making progress. So just because you don't lose 20 pounds overnight, just because you don't get energy overnight, just because you don't, drop a dress size overnight, doesn't mean you're not making progress. So define success, define progress, and get to the root cause and start working on that first. And like Sam says, stay consistent. I hope that's helpful. Hormones, stress, yep, sorting this first. Little changes is really helping. Exactly, Louise. You don't need to, go bungee jumping. You just need to like hit your protein, eat your vegetables, like drink your water, get some good sleep, relax. That's all you need to do. But again, people don't like that because they're like, I want hard. Don't want to get more sleep. That's boring. Sleep when I'm dead. I've said that before. So embarrassing, guys. Like, God, I've done some shit in my life. On my weight loss journey, I've done some shit, which is why I totally resonate with you guys because I have been there and, I've thankfully found the other side. Okay, that's what Cam said to me this week. Stay consistent and wait for the drop to happen. I'm going to dob Sam in it now because then the drop did happen. And then she was like, I don't believe it. She stood on the scale several times. She still didn't believe it. Um, I'm a natural hormone free. I'm unnatural. Natural, you mean? I'm natural, hormone-free implant out. There we go. And so for you, Louise, and anybody else, if you're coming off the pill or anything like that, hormonal, it is going to take months for that to happen, right? So a lot of our clients come off the pill whilst working with us, so they've got the help and support through that. And they're like, I haven't had a period for like 2 months, I haven't had a period for 3 months. that's kind of normal. It might take up to a year for your periods to come in and, stay consistent. Obviously, we want to make sure you get your bloods checked and those kinds of things, maybe like 6 months in, but be really patient. And then if you're on HRT, for example, guys, every time you change a dosage, you need to wait a few months to see if it works. And then it'll change again, check a few months. And so this is one of the reasons why we don't just take on clients for like 1 month at a time, because we need to make sure that we're checking how things go. We can't just like demand results or demand like hormonal changes like that. Okay, so just get my last protein in. Go on, Gail. A 25-gram yogurt. Yeah. Oh, it's a protein. There we go. Sorted, mate. They are always right. Oh, Grace. I know you guys hate to admit that, but there you go. Right. A little bit over, but I've loved spending tonight with you guys. I am super fired up, just what I need at 9 p.m. But has anyone got any questions for me or anything I can help with? Thank you. No worries. Amazing. Thank you. It's been great. No worries, guys. If you're watching on catch up, thank you for catching up. Don't forget, if you want to apply for one of those spots, get that application in. We are going over them on Friday. I'm looking at him, still not listening to me. Going over them on Friday to get everything, to get everyone in. And then Saturday, you should get an email if you've been successful and if you haven't been successful. And then Saturday, if you have been successful, you'll also be put into our Facebook group and accepted into there. So if you've got any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I appreciate your time. Say hello on the replay. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube, because I never say it. Subscribe to our YouTube. Come and rate us and everything else that we do on YouTube. And I'll speak to you soon. Campbell, he's not listening to me, Grace. Sorry. Cam. No, sorry. Boring, isn't he? Anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate you spending some time with me here. And if you've got any questions at all, let me know and I'll get back to you.